All right. Golly. Did you know?
All right.
Did
I
you
got a
know that
Godzilla in the fight, but he don't buy it.
Did you know that they paved paradise?
What they do with it?
They put up a
Like,
parking lot, actually.
That's fucked up.
You ever been to a parking lot?
That's fucked. No.
Really? Never. Not once.
No, I mean I just ride like a lot of bikes.
It happened after the Godzilla attack in Japan. Godzilla attacked so much that they were like, I guess we got to put up a parking lot now. So now all of Japan is just a parking lot.
Just
Tokyo
one
specifically, yeah.
Well, for what purpose though? Like why?
Oh, to park.
What? No, I got that, but if there's nothing, like if the entire city is just a parking lot, why are people even there? Like, what do they have to park for?
To
Like
park.
normally you park to like go to work or
Yeah,
or
but it's a
some
culture
event or-
thing. Parking is just like a fun activity there.
Real that tracks. Yeah. that
Yeah,
makes
no,
sense.
it's that's
So
just
do
Japan
people
for
do people
you.
just like travel from like other Japan like Osaka and other Japanese cities just to go to Tokyo to park? Or
Yeah.
What's up with that? Damn.
Just a big old parking lot. Godzilla
Big-
attacked.
big,
He destroyed
rich
all the
parking
buildings and
culture,
stuff,
yeah.
and so they were just like, "We're going to park here now."
He also smoked a cigar, I think, didn't he?
No, you made that up.
No, I think that happened.
No, you made that up.
Can anyone prove me wrong though?
Anybody who
doubt it.
watches this movie,
Probably not though.
this is Godzilla 1980 and 5.
Or is it?
Yes, it is.
Oh, all right.
It's also
Cool.
Godzilla Returns, maybe? I can't
Return
remember.
of Godzilla,
Whatever it is,
possibly?
it's Godzilla looks like an idiot. That's the name of this movie. He looks so
Yeah,
stupid.
he looks real dumb. He's a big dummy.
I hope you guys
But
can
also pretty
see
cool.
if you're
He
watching
also
this.
He also looks kind of cool. Like
He
we're
looks
gonna make
cool in
him
some
out to
shots.
be dumb,
Yeah.
but he does look pretty cool. The
Yeah. No,
overall
we're gonna talk
design-
about how stupid he looks throughout this whole thing, but he's also kind of cool. He's not as cool as next week's
He's
Godzilla is gonna
yeah,
look.
He's no '90s, 2000s Godzilla, late
'Cause
90s,
that's a
2000s, whatever
sick
that era
design.
is. Yeah,
The Millennium Era, I think, is what it's called,
whatever.
because it happened at the turn of the
Right,
millennium.
Y2K. The computers
Right,
took over.
it's
They made
Godzilla
good.
Y2K edition.
Right. Well, the computers they took over and they made Godzilla look good because they
Right.
had computer technology.
Right. They didn't have much. There's like one CGI scene in any of those movies, and it looks bad.
Right. But they had computer technology. The computers took over.
Right.
Y2K.
Orson Welles is in this movie, I think.
And or George Orwell.
George
One of
Orson
them,
Welles.
Right.
George
Orwell.
Son Wells. His
Oh,
son.
George or his son Wells.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Let's jump into it. This is Godzilla 1985 on this episode of Semi.
Or is it?
So Godzillan. He's Godzillan like a villain. 1980
Right, he is
villain.
a villain.
He is a villain in this one, actually. He's
Yeah,
they.
he doesn't fight any
This movie,
monsters.
it's like a return to
It's a classic Godzilla movie.
Yeah.
It's just Godzilla attacks.
Godzilla
but
versus the city.
Also, it's a Cold War movie because
Yes.
it came out in the 80s. Everything
This
that came
is-
out in the 80s had to be Cold War.
This is interesting because we were trying to think of like any famous requels, which is, if you don't know what a requel is, it's a reboot sequel that
right.
ignores.
What are
It's a
some
sequel to the
examples
first
of
one.
That I know Halloween did that.
Halloween, Alien, Terminator.
Right.
A lot of stuff has requeled itself. Godzilla.
There's been a few, yeah. But
Godzilla's
yeah,
done it like 8
Godzilla
times.
Invented it.
But
Right.
yeah, this is the first
They were
one
the
we can
original,
really
right?
think of.
Right.
But we don't know for sure that it was the first one. It's just the first one we can remember or think of.
Yeah.
Like I said, Alien did this. A Predator with Predators. This is
Predator
also
did that,
the
yeah.
only example I can think of a movie with its requel.
It's the only example I can think of a movie. I can't think of any other.
This is the only example I can think of, or the earliest example, rather, I can think of a requel using the same title as its first movie, because it also did that. Because
wasn't it the Halloween? Wasn't that just called Halloween?
Well,
the
yeah, no, I
requel to
remember the
Halloween?
earliest I can think of.
Oh, the earliest. Okay, I thought you said
Because it
only.
did that, right? Like, this is like
Right.
Godzilla, and
Well,
then
it did
the
that,
sequel.
but also it was called Return of Godzilla, maybe.
Yes, but also I think the official title is Godzilla 1985.
Gotcha. Is it, or is it just the American release of it?
Dude, I don't know.
If
If it's in English,
one version is called Godzilla, one's called Return of Godzilla, maybe.
if
I
it's in
don't know.
English, I can assume it was part of the American release. So who knows? Maybe it was released twice under two
right.
different things.
Yeah, and
Point
Orson
being,
Welles was in it. He's American.
So last week we watched Astro Monster, I think, and so
Right, / Attack of Monster Zero.
Godzilla has this history, and most people even still today kind of think of
Well,
Godzilla
it's
in
also
this
her
way.
story.
Right. Maybe. Godzilla has this history of, it's like, okay, so there's this one movie that's a social commentary, and it's still like a schlocky B movie, but it's a social commentary
it's the 50s,
on nuclear weaponry. Perfect.
Right.
You get this one. Now we're going to release 8 more, and all of these are going to be super corny.
Schlock,
Yes.
garbage.
Corny,
Monster
schlocky,
kaiju movies.
whatever. And then...
It's great. It's fun. It's fine.
But then they take like a 10-year gap, and they decide, okay, here's what we're going to do.
Did you ever look that up?
I did not. I'm just going to say 10
we'll
years.
Say that
10
it's
years
probably
feels
enough.
fine.
Yeah.
That would give them like a 20-year original run and then a 10-year break.
Right.
And then we're going to release a movie that's going to make you take Godzilla seriously. And that's what this is supposed to be.
Yeah. It's not quite what I got from this movie.
Right.
But
And I don't know if...
that was the attempt.
Had I seen this in 1985, if I would feel differently... Probably
I'd say almost definitely I would, because I don't know, like I wouldn't have as much frame of reference, or maybe I would have more.
I don't know, dude. I don't even know what frame of reference
I wasn't
means.
alive in the. Well, it's like a frame that you reference.
Right, maybe.
Like you see that frame over there? Boom, just reference that shit.
You have a frame?
Yeah, there's a photo of a clown feeding a baby pig. It was painted by my great grandfather.
But are
Bill
you
Valentine.
referencing it?
Yeah, just now. I'm talking about it.
Okay. Yeah.
I reference. No, that's a frame of reference.
I think the point of this movie was Godzilla's super silly. We're giving him a rest. We're giving him a break. Here, let's take him seriously.
Now let's make him serious and scary, but also he looks like a fucking idiot.
He does. He looks so stupid in this.
But he also looks kind of
He
cool.
looks cool in some scenes, but then he looks stupid.
I would say the overall design of him is cool.
See,
it is.
We're gonna
I think
disagree
it's an
here.
Overall good design. It's just a lot of the face looks really dumb, and a lot of the shots of the face look really dumb. But the overall suit design and just Gojira design, he's cool looking, slimy little pus monster.
We disagree here because you think the overall design looks cool, and sometimes he looks stupid. I think he looks stupid, and sometimes he looks cool.
Right. I just think, I don't know.
I like how slimy he looks.
He's real slimy. I mean, the costume is obviously much better. It's been, 30 years.
Well,
They've
and
been
if
using
you
the same
watch
costume for 30 years.
if you watch the tail end of the original Heisei Godzilla, not Heisei, Showa Godzilla run, you can see how dumb he begins to look, and not just dumb, but like how poorly his costume starts to look.
Yeah.
It's rotting. It's falling apart. I mean, it was 20 years.
They've been using the same costume for 20 years at that point.
And so they're like, okay, we got to remake it, and they bump up some of the special effects. The miniatures don't look any better than they did in the last movie, which came out 20 years before this one.
I'd say the city miniatures maybe look a little better.
Maybe
not the miniatures themselves, but like the explosion stuff, like the
explosion
stuff
for sure
of it looks much better.
But
it's no
Godzilla,
Oppenheimer, but
or it's better than Oppenheimer, depending on who you ask.
Say.
No, some of the design looks worse. The costume looks better.
Maybe I think it's just the face, though. Like
It is
it's
for
not
sure
even
just
it's
the
not even
face.
just the full face. The only things I have a major gripe with are the eyes and the mouth. And I guess his face is a little too slim, but I think that would work to its benefit if his eyes and mouth didn't look so goofy.
Well, and a face is majority eyes and mouth.
Yeah, fair point. But
I mean, there's not much else to work with other than eyes and mouth.
well, yeah, there's nose, which Godzilla doesn't have. But,
He's got on this one. He's got kind of like a mohawk of like
yeah,
weird rocks on his head.
right.
God, this movie is dumb.
Yeah, so should we talk about the plot of this movie? What's the plot of this movie?
Yeah, you got like 10 minutes. Break it down for us, Daniel.
Oh, me? I'm doing it? Okay, so...
Oh, I mean,
the
I can
Cold
do it,
War,
but I don't remember it, so...
1985.
It's the Cold War.
Um,
That's the plot of this movie. That's all you
it's
need
like
to know.
a fishing ship in Japan that gets attacked by Godzilla.
Maybe.
No. Probably not, no. But
Was that your
Godzilla
cat?
attacks
Or was
the
that a
ship.
ghost that just moved?
Maybe both. I don't see my cat. No, there she is.
It made noise. The
Yeah,
noise
she
making
does that
cat.
sometimes.
If you rub it enough, will it start vibrating?
Yeah, she's doing it right now, actually. But I think it's the nervous vibrating. She wants me to stop fucking with her. But there's a ship.
You know who else
it gets
has a
attacked
cat?
by Godzilla. No, I mean a lot of people.
Lots of people,
probably.
yeah.
Yeah. Like,
Godzilla, maybe.
is there a Godzilla cat monster?
Probably not.
Maybe though.
Maybe, though.
Who knows?
Lots of
It was
time.
Frankenstein.
I mean, these movies
so-
have been coming out for like 80 years at this point.
right.
There's a
At
good
least,
chance there was a
yeah.
cat in at least one of them.
There was Cats, the movie based on the musical.
Right, Idris Elba played Godzilla
had,
in that, I think.
No, I think it was just a cat, but there were buttholes in one version of it, and
Yeah,
then
but I think
no buttholes
Godzilla
in
as
another version.
well. Let's see.
I think it was just a cat.
See what happens when I search up Godzilla
I think
cat.
it was Idris Elba the cat. He said, "My name's Idris Elba. I'm a cat." I'm a cat. I'm
I
Idris
just
Elba."
found an AI generated image of a Godzilla cat, which is interesting.
Oh, that's cool.
Nothing.
I saw a shirt at a thrift store once that was a cat fighting Godzilla. That was pretty dope. I really thought about buying it, but I didn't. I think I bought a FUBU jacket instead. But so this fishing ship gets attacked by Godzilla, and also somehow a big giant sea lice or louse, like the country,
Right.
ends up on it.
Right.
I also
Laos, like
learned
the
while
people who
watching
move
this
to
that
Tennessee.
there are. I guess I don't know.
We got
Only
lots
been
of them.
once.
They got lots of them in Tennessee.
Right. You're not from Tennessee.
I'm the
You're
only
not the
10
only
you see.
10 I
though.
see.
Godzilla looks
So
stupid.
there's he looks dumb, but he attacks a ship. We don't really see it. It's like the opening scene. We see it's like a silhouette maybe, and then there's the roar. Then some guy is going out, and he goes to this boat, and he's like, "Oh man, this boat looks fucked up. I should go check it out." He gets attacked by the sea lice and stabs it, and then other guy chops it with an axe, and then they meet, they're friends, and there's some political stuff. They're like, "Oh yeah, Godzilla attacks a Russian submarine."
Yeah, it's like there's a Russian Godzilla is reemerging because of the Cold War. We come to find out.
Right. Yeah. But
And
they
so-
never really explain. They just kind of
No,
say it.
it's
and
more
we're
just like
okay.
It's something like
sure.
Godzilla's an act of nature, and he wants to help us keep from destroying each other or something.
Right.
Which is,
But,
like,
we
why
weren't really
he-
destroying each other. Like we weren't. The Cold War.
That's
wasn't
the
shit.
weird
Like
thing.
we didn't do anything in the Cold War.
I
Nothing
guess-
fucking
yeah, I
happened.
guess
like,
the
why not
implication
pop
is,
out in
like-
Vietnam? Pop out in
Right.
fucking Korea, dude. What are you
Right.
doing?
I guess the
Godzilla?
implication here is like in the middle of the Cold War, you would
It
have
seemed like
expected
it was
the
like,
Cold
yeah, we
War to be the
could've,
deadliest war
right.
ever,
Right.
and it just
right.
wasn't. And so Godzilla's
Godzilla
trying
thought
to
it would
stop
be.
it.
Yeah.
But why wouldn't he want it? You know, Godzilla
birds?
loves
'cause of
nuclear
the
weapons.
But the birds,
Weapons?
though.
He
But the
likes
birds.
nuclear
But
birds.
He followed the bird. The bird is the word. Oh well, a bird, Papa is the word. Papa umama now. Papa umama, Papa umama, Papa umama, Papa umama.
now I'm a helicopter.
Yeah, but the bird is actually the word.
Yeah, Godzilla likes birds.
He follows them, at least.
Yeah, we're not there
never
yet,
really
but yeah,
hear
where
why,
are we,
but
you know?
well, he attacked the sub. It causes like political
Right.
panic because
America is Russia is like,
Soviets...
hey, America destroyed our ship. They're in cahoots with Japan. We're gonna nuke them.
Right, but then Japan says no, it was Godzilla.
Right, and everybody just believes them.
Well, because Godzilla had attacked them before.
That's
if
true.
anyone
Orson
would know,
Welles
it'd be
reported
them.
on it.
Right, yeah. Raymond something or something Raymond. What was his name?
Raymond Shutt?
Burr.
Burr, yeah.
Close.
It was like,
yeah.
Burr.
Right, he was
I'm cold. Shut
Yeah,
the door because I'm cold.
Right, that's why he grew the beard.
Right.
He's cold. He's a chilly
Keeps
little guy.
him warm. Yeah, that's why I grew a mustache.
Right, yes.
Yeah. Your mustache actually shows up well on camera.
It's coming in. Yeah, I've been putting avocado oil and tea tree oil in it, and
You should
my
try
whole general
rosemary
beard area.
oil.
I might. I think I have some rosemary oil and got a bunch of various essential
I've been putting it on
oil
my
tinctures.
head to keep myself from balding.
I put a little bit of the like after I do my face, I usually do it before a shower, and I'll just like slick the avocado tea tree tincture in my hair, and that's made it pretty tight.
You think Godzilla does that?
Well, he doesn't really have hair, does he?
Yeah.
Oh, well, maybe that's why he's so slimy. He's just rolling around in avocado
He's
and
rolling
tea tree
oil in
all the
oil.
time.
Olive
He's
oil.
rolling off of Molly. He's just rolling. he's just tripping balls off of beans.
So a lot of this movie is just political jargon.
There's
and
a lot
I don't
of
love
like
that.
various the first half of this movie is very, very boring. It's various either Japanese science political shit.
Well, I mean, they're turning
talking
that
about
way.
Birds. Well, sometimes they do. Sometimes they just look straight at the camera and mew.
Sometimes they
Sometimes they go to the
want
doctor
to go
and
to
take
the
a picture of their
doctors and get a
insides
picture
to
of
see
your
what you look like
insides.
on the inside. Or
Yeah.
whatever.
Whatever the words are. There's a song called "I'm Turning Japanese." Don't look it up.
Yeah, it's by the. It's a solid song. It's all right. It's really fucking dumb. Kind of like this movie.
Kind of like this episode of the podcast. This episode of the
little
podcast
bit, yeah.
brought to you by YouTube.
Turning Japanese and also YouTube.
Because this movie was on YouTube.
Yeah.
But also
Toho,
Tubi, because it's always brought to you by Tubi.
Well, always. Or not to be.
Right. Tubi.
That is the question.
Call us. We will let you sponsor this podcast for free. Just we want it to be official. You don't have to pay us any money.
No.
We want it to be official.
We just want you to we just want to be able to say
we want to be or not to be.
Right. Well, that is the question.
Right. Call us.
The answer is
may surprise you.
No, it's not. That's surprising.
So tune in next week when we finish this episode of the podcast. Just kidding. I would never do that to the listening audience. I would.
That'd be funny though. Where
To be
are we?
or not
Okay,
to
yeah,
be?
a lot of political stuff.
Just
There's,
lots of it. The whole first half of the movie is so boring.
Yeah.
There's
I
like
can't think of anything. The only significant thing I can remember
is the sea louse.
Well, the sea louse, the birds. The birds.
Oh,
have
they
payoff.
say the bird thing.
Yeah.
Well, that's not even
Japanese...
really until like exactly halfway through. But
no, I feel like that was like it was like peppered through the first half. Like they're like
maybe.
I don't really remember. I know there was a bunch of stuff of like the Japanese people doing
birds.
research on. Well, that's the word. They were doing research on Godzilla. They used footage from the first movie.
Yeah, that was cool. That was cracked.
Yeah, it was fun. Oh, the
Orson
one
Welles
professor.
was there.
The one professor who figured out the bird thing, his parents died in the first Godzilla attack, which was 30 years ago.
Your parents died in the Godzilla attack.
Right, that's what he says, yeah.
That's what he sounds like, too.
Yeah.
And then Willem Dafoe is there? He's one of the war generals?
He's not. It's some guy whose mouth He kind of smiles like Willem
Yeah,
Dafoe,
he
and
looks
that's
vaguely like Willem Dafoe.
Barely, vaguely, but
And then the
yeah.
other guy looks like Uncle Soprano.
Orson Welles. Oh yeah, Uncle Junior Soprano from The Sopranos. Yeah.
And then Orson Welles,
um,
who
and
legitimately
then
looks like Orson
and Zach.
Welles.
Orson Welles won that one straight up, and then there's also Zach Ward, the postal dude, because he has
Right.
ginger hair.
Right. He's just a red-haired man.
It's just a guy with red hair. Yeah. But yeah, that's the American side, which was probably added only for the American release.
I would have to imagine so.
I know. I mean, I know that the Orson Welles storyline in the first movie was only added for the American release, right?
Right. The Orson Welles thing, which he wasn't Orson
Yeah.
Welles in that movie. He was just
No.
generic reporter.
Steve Martin is the reporter's
Right.
name.
Steve
like-
Martin.
like
They
the
added that
actor.
whole storyline for the American release and the dub, so that the whole
Right.
movie wasn't dubbed, basically.
Yeah.
And then it seems like they did the same thing here because this army general set never really interacts with anybody other than
each
other.
The only Americans that ever interact with the Japanese and the Russians is there's one
because they're turning.
they're turning they're rushing to the bathroom. They gotta because European.
Right, European. That's what happens when you rush
But
into
yeah,
the
there's-
bathroom because you're European.
Well, there's the one
You're
American guy.
You're
at
japping
the-
the knees.
Yeah, you're turning Japanese, so shut the fuck up. But yeah, there's like one scene at like the UN or NATO or whatever the fuck it was at this point. It's like I don't think any of the American general like people were there. It was like one guy who looked Italian.
Yeah, and
but he's
a
chill.
Russian guy with a really
Russian
wispy
guy.
beard.
Russian guy with wispy beard and Italian American who was not a good actor.
Yeah. And then outside of that, there was no Godzilla stuff. And that's where this is where the movie really began to just lull.
Then Godzilla attacks a nuclear power plant.
Right, and it gets
it's
really
good
interesting.
again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The movie up to the point of the meeting, the big United Nations meeting, which is about 30, maybe 45 minutes into the movie,
Right.
is just so boring and nothing happens. And you're like, man, I just wish Godzilla would attack. And then finally you get a Godzilla attack, and it lasts like 3 minutes, but it's enough to tide you over for a little bit. The movie past that point, past the 30-minute mark, is really well paced. Up to the 30-minute mark is horribly paced.
Yeah, once Godzilla smokes the nuclear power plant,
Right.
it
We
gets
were
fun and
thinking
good.
at around that point, we were like, man, we made a mistake in choosing this to be the
Yeah,
Godzilla
no, I
movie
remember
we
you
watched.
said you were like, yeah, I feel like the whole like most of this movie other than the last like 20-30 minutes is just going to be this boring human plot or whatever, and then it's going to be total destruction, which it kind of was.
It was, but they
It
put
just-
in one
it
Godzilla
happened-
fight, and I
it
was like,
happened a
okay,
little
cool.
sooner. Yeah. Well, I mean, no, I feel like once
It was about
Godzilla
45
attacked
minutes
there,
of Godzilla stuff.
Yeah, once Godzilla attacked there, it was a pretty good balance of the human and Godzilla stuff. Like it would go, there was them like fighting Godzilla in the ocean, and then random boardroom general shit, whatever.
Yeah.
Then Godzilla attacking Tokyo, and then this homeless guy going into
I like the
a
homeless guy a
restaurant.
lot,
The
yeah.
homeless guy was fun. He
He was the
crushed by
highlight of the
Godzilla.
movie. Yeah, he got crushed
He got
for sure.
he's dead.
I wonder if he
but
was also added for the American release.
doubt it.
Given that he was dubbed, is that why you think maybe not?
Well,
And he
he's
interacted with other characters in the
Japanese.
movies.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, he directly interacted with the two main.
I wonder if
Japanese
Godzilla was added
characters.
for the American release.
Definitely, yeah. I don't think this was actually released in Japan at all.
This was actually the
an
first
American
legendary Godzilla movie.
release. Right.
Toho had no involvement. This is actually Godzilla 1998.
Right.
Matthew Broderick
was
is in
it.
this movie.
Yeah. Yeah,
He's
he
the-
killed
he's the homeless
he
guy.
killed 2 women while drunk driving in Northern
Right.
Ireland.
Never forget.
Yeah, never forget.
Never forgore.
I forgot.
I
so
forgore
what
where we
happens?
are in the
Yeah.
discussion. Godzilla just attacked the nuclear power plant and started smoking weed.
Yeah, he smokes that nuke like a fucking bong. He just
He
huffs that
does
shit.
legitimately hit the nuclear power plant like
Yeah,
it's a bomb.
no, it's sick. It's cracked. And the whole like up before even before this happened, I think it started with the submarine scene. I really wanted him to smoke the submarine like a cigar. Then I thought
Yeah.
it was going to be a torpedo that he smoked like it doesn't happen. It never happens. He doesn't
Never
smoke
happened.
anything like a
Well, it
cigar.
does.
Kinda.
Kind
But
of.
what I
Way
wanted was
more
it
than I
sticking out of
expected when you said that
there.
as a
Yeah,
joke.
yeah. There was much more of him actually smoking. So he smokes the nuclear power plant. Um, then a lot of we haven't actually we've talked about the bird thing. We haven't actually explained it yet.
No.
So
Well,
they
can
they
you?
explain yes they explain that or they come to the conclusion that Godzilla follows the migration patterns of seabirds or something, or he reacts to the sounds that they
It's
make.
not just seabird. Isn't it just birds in general?
I think it was specifically seabirds.
Surds, then.
Well, absurd is the word.
Right. Maybe.
So they
Absurd
the
might be
Japanese
the word.
Well, this movie's absurd, but the Japanese government, along with professor parents were killed by Gojira 30 years ago.
Right. And Orson Welles.
They come. No, he's just kicking it with the Americans.
Right.
But
Well, the Americans
one of
talk
the,
like they're part of the plan, even though they're really not.
right. They shoot a missile out of the sky. That's all they fucking do.
Right.
Or they shoot a nuke with a missile.
Which
Is a nuke a
seems like an
missile? I don't
added
know.
B subplot for sure.
Yeah, almost definitely. I wonder if any of surely some of the Cold War stuff was in the Japanese version. Like, it had to have been.
Well, maybe. I think anything that's dubbed, like all of the Soviet Union stuff,
Right.
probably.
Mm-hmm.
But I doubt like the nuke coming towards Japan towards the end of the movie was even close to part of it.
It might have had to be, though, because that's how Godzilla, like, powered up again.
Oh, you're right.
He was basically dead from the
I wonder if the
ketamine.
nuke landed in the original version, and in the American version they were like,
maybe.
but actually,
Actually, the Americans stopped it.
we saved
We
the
beat
day.
the Soviets.
Dun,
We saved
dun,
the
dun,
Japanese.
dun, 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 dun.
We may have bombed them 40 years ago, but this time we saved them.
We wanted to protect them.
God
Bum,
bless
ba-dum,
America.
bum, ba,
Right,
ba,
and
da,
the
dum,
Indiana
dun, dun, dun,
Jones
dun, dun, dun,
slash
dun, 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 dun,
Batman Forever music plays.
Well, no, the Batman Forever is like the main title.
That's
This
the
was the
beginning,
Fleischer
yeah.
Superman theme.
Right, slash Indiana
Dun,
Jones
dun,
music, because
dun,
those are the
dun,
same
dun,
score.
dun.
Bam, 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 bam.
The main theme of this
But yeah,
movie is the
yeah.
theme from Batman Forever. The sub theme of this movie is the theme from Fleischer Superman slash Indiana Jones.
Indiana Jones,
The music in
yeah.
this movie is horrible.
It's not great. There's like one scene with kind of a decent scoring, and it's just like
It's them walking
Asian
down the
brother.
stairs.
It's the Asian brother and sister walking down the stairs. That's it. Like,
It
they're
makes
just-
me think, and we said this, I think, during the discussion. Maybe we didn't. Maybe I'm making that up. It very much makes me think this is a rescore, and this isn't the actual score to this movie. Like, this
Could
is a
be.
fake American score to sound like
That'd be-
American action movie.
Oh yeah, maybe. Because it was very generic, just like
Yeah, and it's almost like they
specifically that,
hired.
It was very generic, like adventure wannabe Danny Elfman.
Yeah,
wannabe,
they hired somebody and they were like,
John
listen to this John Williams
shit.
score, listen to this
Right.
Fleischer Superman score, listen to this whatever, make a score for this movie, and so they rescored it. I don't know that that's
be.
true, but it feels accurate. From what I've seen, because I've seen a few clips from this that aren't the American release, the American dub, it feels much more... Because they recolor graded it for the American release. It feels much more serious kind of thing in the Japanese release, which is interesting.
Right.
Which this one
It's
feels like it takes
strange,
itself
'cause it feel
seriously.
like, yeah, this one feels like it's trying to be serious. It's just
But then there's a lot of stuff
silly
that
due to
doesn't.
circumstance.
Like the
Yeah.
big military man's glasses and Orson Welles and the music
Right.
and like it
Junior
is kind of
Soprano and
saturated.
Orson Welles are very silly.
Yeah, and
looks
Godzilla's
goofy.
cross-eyed and he looks like an idiot.
He is cross. I don't know if we directly said that, but you can see it in the thumbnail. That's an unedited picture of
Yeah,
Godzilla, in
and the
this
tongue
movie.
sticking out also.
That's all. That's also real. He's got a big tongue, and he laps up
No, no.
some fire or some nuclear power, like a puppy dog. He goes. Wow, it's buzzing like crazy, man. All right, you gotta stop, man.
Yeah, I'm turning it down.
Oh, you turned it out. Okay, that's what it was.
Dude,
I thought you were just holding your microphone again.
Dude. Oh, I can.
No, you don't have to. No, it's okay.
They couldn't hear it on the podcast. Let me just.
I can though.
Right, I can. You can't though. Anyway, this movie's almost over.
Basically,
it's just a Godzilla rampage from here on out.
Yeah, at this point, they're fighting him on the ocean. They shoot him and blow him up, but it doesn't do shit. Then he goes to Tokyo and he fucking smashes and destroys shit.
Tokyo.
There's the cyberpunk. Well, they paved it, turned it into a parking lot.
Right,
Used
that's
to be
right.
Paradise.
I forgot about that.
I
I don't believe in paradise, actually.
Isn't that like a core part of your religion?
Nah, paradise.
Eternal paradise and whatnot.
Nah, parking lots.
Oh, they paved heaven, put up a parking lot.
Yeah, Jesus is actually super stoked about it. They needed some space for the cars.
Word.
Gabriel less happy, but he put up with it because Jesus was in support.
Well, God, I mean, what's he gonna do?
I mean, yeah, when Christ is in support of a decision, you just kind of have to go along with it because he's Christ,
so
even if you don't agree.
Godzilla's fucking up Tokyo. There's a cyberpunk.
Oh, well, I mean, there is no Tokyo.
Godzilla.
It's a parking lot.
Well, at this point, there's still a little bit of
Right, I forgot. Godzilla messes up Tokyo. That's why they put the parking lot down.
There's a cyberpunk flying car thing that's very cool. I like it a lot.
It's like the one from Fantastic Four, 1994?
Right.
/ Fantastic Four, the animated series. Which is what... No, there was a flying car. It's at the very end. They fly it only to see Doom.
I don't remember.
After they get their costume, yeah, they fly in the flying car. It's also in the animated series, which is what MF Doom's persona is based on.
The animated series, and I remember it from the
Silver Surfer.
One?
Yeah, which we'll watch eventually for the podcast. Maybe next week. Sure. Probably not.
Yeah,
I want to get away from nerd stuff. I want to get to like some.
Right, I hate nerds. I want to go out and bash some nerds.
Right, and Godzilla feels too much like nerd stuff.
It's like nicher, nerdier stuff, which makes it even nerdier.
Right, which means it's gonna do numbers.
But I digress. For sure, yeah.
Or it won't.
We love nerds, actually. Please watch our podcast.
Yeah, listen to our podcast. It's called the Semi-Pro Film Show. Also, if we get enough viewers on this podcast / listeners on this podcast, we'll start a Patreon.
If you're still listening at this point, comment, me wanty Patreon.
I will pay blank amount of money for a Patreon.
Me will listen Patreon. I will give you money for Patreon.
Also, send this to your friends. We're about halfway through. Send this to your buddies.
Even if you don't like this, your friends will like this. You've got
or
friends
they'll
with
never
bad
talk
taste.
to you again.
Could be. But
text the link to this to your friend with the worst taste.
Yeah.
Daniel's going to send it to me.
Or your friend that was like a kind of close friend in high school, but you don't really talk to him anymore. Send it to that friend.
Yeah, send it to somebody who you're like, I bet this man watches Godzilla movies.
Send it to someone you haven't talked to in 5 years, but you used to be inseparable. Send it to that person.
Ooh, send it to a cousin.
Yeah, send it to your mom.
Send it to a cousin who moved away. Like a cousin who moved when they got married. And then had a kid, and now won't talk to you suddenly anymore because they feel like, oh, I'm too good for you? I'm too good for you, Dalton?
If your grandpa's still alive, send it to your grandpa.
If your grandpa's dead, just go to the grave and just play it.
Just play it for him. You don't even have to listen. Just leave your phone there and just walk away. Go get a fucking pretzel or
go play it for Godzilla. You know? Find him. He's in the depths. He's as real as your dead grandpa.
He's curled up in the fetal position. He's sucking on his own tail while he sleeps.
He's sucking on his own teat while he tails.
He's sucking on his own taint while he faints.
Right. Nah, go find Godzilla. Play this for Godzilla. Actually, what I want you to do is I want you to go to the White House, right? And I want you to go to the White House, and I want you to get to the gate, right? And you see the gate to the White House?
First, you're going to need to get a boombox, like stereotypical 80s, 90s type boombox.
Or any Bluetooth speaker will do.
No, specifically a boombox so you can hold it over your head outside of the White House playing the podcast.
No, we're going a little deeper than that. Just any Bluetooth speaker will do, something loud. And I want you to get to the front gate of the White House, and I want you to look.
Big. You have to be able to hold it over your head. That's an important part for me personally.
And I want
you
it
have
to
be,
hold
it over your head.
I want it to be about 8:30 in the afternoon. Okay, it's 8:30 in the afternoon. You're at the White House.
Evening at that point.
8:30 in the evening. Either way, it's always afternoon.
True. I mean, technically, even morning is afternoon.
Right.
It's just
well,
not the
you know
noon
what I
of
mean.
Today.
So you get to the White House. It's about 8:30 in the evening. The president is definitely there. Okay, and I want you to jump the fence. After you've already connected the Bluetooth speaker.
He's a pretty sleepy guy.
Well, either way.
Old Sleepy Joe.
Well, they could be watching this in the future. Either way, I want you to connect the Bluetooth speaker outside of the gate, jump the fence, sprint as fast as you can towards the presidential window. I mean, as fast as you can.
You're going to want to wear some sort of Kevlar or similar body armor because you will almost definitely get shot
I think wear
Secret
bright
Service
neon.
agents. Well, you can wear bright
and nothing
neon, but
protective.
Also have something
They're
protective.
not going to shoot you. You're just trying to show the president your favorite podcast.
You're going to get shot by the
You're
Secret
just trying to show
Service.
the president your favorite podcast.
They will shoot you.
Go to the Twin Towers.
What you're gonna want to climb up the Twin Towers like Godzilla and Godzilla Matthew Broderick. Apparently, I've never seen it.
I want you to hijack a plane on September 11th.
Okay. All right.
And fly it into the Pentagon.
But then you won't reach it. They'll actually shoot a missile at you. Anyways,
I want you to fly it into Texas somewhere.
Yeah, Godzilla.
Don't do anything wrong with it. Just land it on an air mat in Texas. You just wanted the experience of piloting. And it was pre 9/11, so it was fine.
Who was that guy that he stole that plane from like an air show just to like kill himself or something?
Matthew Broderick, probably.
Right, and then he drove it to Northern Ireland and killed those two women.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, my mic fell. Don't do any of what we said, by the way. Just I want to say this.
This satirical.
Is a bit.
Everything we say on this podcast is satirical. We do not mean anything we say.
Do 9/11. Do 9/11. Do 9/11. Do 9/11. Show the semi-pro film show to the President of the United States. Make sure he hears it. If you're listening to this right now, your new mission is to show this to show Joe Biden the semi-pro film show.
The best vantage point for the White House at the Rockefeller Hotel across the street. Just by the way. Just if you were wondering.
But I don't care about vantage point. I care about audio. I want Joseph Biden to hear this clip right now.
Oh, it's actually it's Joe Byron.
Joseph Byron. What's his name? Brandon. Let's go, Brandon.
Right, Joseph Brandon. Godzilla's attacking Tokyo. There's a cyberpunk flying car. Earlier, there was a line about how they're just gonna shoot like a bunch of like various types of missiles at him, and also maybe horse tranquilizer.
Well, Japan says, I don't know how accurate this is, but Japan says they have like a strict no nuke policy.
Yes, but they don't have a no ketamine policy.
Correct.
So
they shoot
ketamine
Godzilla.
missiles.
They shoot Joe Biden full of ketamine.
Right, I don't think he needs any.
They shoot the Twin Towers full of ketamine. I've got to stop. Right. This is gonna. I'm gonna get put on a watch list.
Enough is enough. This episode is gonna get taken down. But so they shoot Godzilla in the mouth with ketamine
butthole.
Missiles. No, it's the mouth. He opens his mouth and he catches the missile, and then
every time you say the word mouth, I just hear the word butthole.
Okay, well you got some issues you need to work out, but that's neither here nor there.
That's between me and Godzilla.
And maybe a therapist. You should go to therapy.
And maybe Godzilla.
Maybe. And maybe also a man that you have gay sex with because you're gay.
But that's you.
Some would say.
Some wouldn't. But some would.
Gay.
Anyway, Godzilla gets shot in the mouth with ketamine.
He smokes ketamine, which is strange because normally ketamine is like injected or snorted.
Well, they inject it to his mouth.
Sure, yeah, but then it comes out as smoke. So.
Well, but that's because it was in a missile.
Well, it was payoff for me setting up him smoking
Right.
missiles like a
You
cigar.
put anything in a missile and it's gonna smoke when it comes out of your mouth.
Right. Or a cigar.
You put crack rock in a missile, it's gonna smoke when it comes out of my mouth. You know.
You put crack rock in a cigar, it's gonna smoke when it comes out of my mouth.
Right, because you burn it.
Yeah, I mean,
Did
that's
you
just what
put
happens
crack
when
rock
you burn
in
it.
my cigar?
No,
I feel like I'm tripping on crack rock.
I wouldn't have done that.
What's the clip of who's the Western guy, the Western actor? Like the Western actor. Clint Eastwood. Clint Eastwood, and he's got the thing of crack, and he goes, "This is crack rock. This is crack rock. Don't do it." If somebody asked me if they wanted me to do crack, I'd tell them to get out of town.
Right, or the one of Pee Wee Herman going, "This is crack cocaine."
This is quack. That's how he says it. This is quack.
Right.
Anyway, back to Godzilla, who's doing crack rock.
He's ketamine.
Quack walk. Ketamine.
He's widowy hitting the Gwitty.
He's widowy hitting a quack walk.
So yeah, this one he's got a cool, like, there's like pus coming out of his mouth.
Yeah, there's pus and smoke.
Cool visual, and the smoke, of
he's
course. He's smoking that shit.
He's hitting a J.
Yeah, I mean, he smoked. Godzilla in this
People
movie
still stay
smokes
smoking
that
a
shit.
J?
I think so, yeah. I say it at least.
And you're hip.
Right, I'm hip. I'm with the times. I'm chill like that.
I'm behind the times.
Kids love me.
But I'm more of a post guy, not really a Times man.
Right, like Malone.
You know, New York Times versus New York Post. It was a newspaper joke. Back to the podcast.
Like Malone, yeah. You know,
I'm
rapper
not alone.
Times Malone.
I have plenty of people in my life to keep me company.
Do you though?
I have you.
Yeah,
and you're a figment of my imagination. I think.
Right.
I'm still not
or
convinced.
the other way around.
Right. We haven't really determined. Listeners, comment. Who's a figment of whose imagination?
Yeah. Yeah.
And also comment. I want
also
Patreon.
Comment.
I want Patreon. I want Patreon. I want Patreon.
Right. Also comment. They paved paradise and put up a parking lot.
They paved Japan and put up a parking pan.
Well, specifically Tokyo. So he smokes ketamine, he gets knocked the fuck out, then the Russians launch a nuke at Japan for some fucking reason?
I think they think Japan is responsible for the submarine.
Yeah, well, they think Japan's
it's a
full
beginning
of,
of World War II situation.
Kind of, yeah. Well, they think Japan is just like helping the U.S. and
but without Ferdinand Magellan.
Is that who it was? I think that was World War One, and it wasn't Magellan. It was Hans
Wormhat.
Anyway, this guy flies around in a biplane and shoots me as I run through a field. So the U.S. they shoot a missile to blow up the Russians' nuke in space. Then it makes a nuclear storm directly over Japan. Nuclear lightning hits Godzilla. He is powered by nukes because he's nuclear. He's a nucleus. He's just that guy.
Right, which is not on purpose. Come to find out.
No. It just they just wanted to stop the nuke from blowing up.
It was
Japan.
one of those. This movie's ahead of its. This movie's ahead of the time.
America was thinking, they were like, okay, so first Russia's trying to do all this Cold War shit, fucking sending spies to live with us, whatever, and then they're trying to dick ride us by bombing Japan. That's our fucking thing.
That's true.
We nuked Japan.
We did
not those fucking Ruskies. That's our thing. They dick riding us.
This movie's ahead of its time. Number one, it's a requel.
Well, yes.
Number two, it's named the same thing as the first movie, as a requel.
Maybe, sometimes at least.
Number three, the movie ends with the death of its antagonist or whatever antagonist. But then turns out the antagonist isn't. It's like one of those the modern movie thing where the movie ends and then it's like, but the movie's not actually over.
Right. Do they do that in this movie? Do they have
Godzilla's
still being alive?
No, there's no. No. I mean, like the movie ends, but then the movie keeps going, type thing.
Right.
That's this movie. This movie's ahead of its.
Well, that's just Godzilla in general, you know.
Yeah.
No Godzilla movie truly ends.
No Godzilla, really. Just no Godzilla, really.
Yeah, there's no Godzilla.
There is no Godzilla.
He got blown up in a volcano.
There is no Godzilla.
They erupted a volcano. Mount Sinai, maybe. Mount Cyanide, like what's in apple seeds.
Johnny.
Right.
From The Room.
Johnny cracked corn. I don't care.
Really? Why'd he do that?
I don't know. I don't fucking care.
Keep going. So Godzilla falls into a volcano?
Well, first he gets nuclear power, and
then they bird sound him.
He crushes the homeless guy. Then they bird sound him to lure him to the volcano where they had set up
the volcano.
Yeah, but they set up a bunch of like small little bomb explosions to force
I feel
ejaculation.
like bomb explosion is kind of like an oxymoron.
Shut up, man! I said ejaculation. Comment on that. So they prematurely ejaculate the volcano.
And Godzilla?
Godzilla steps into it, then they blow him up, and then the movie's just fucking over. That's it.
Yeah.
Go Godzilla.
So
Help those people in the subway
train
scream my God as he looks in on them.
I forgot about the questions that we ask at the end.
Well, history shows again and again how nature points out the folly of man.
Right.
So,
that is the point of
a little bit, yeah.
So the first one is this movie fun? It's the first question. Most of it.
Yeah.
The dubbing is not horrible. There's some scenes that are funny.
There are a couple funny dubbing lines, but for the most part, the dubbing is fine. It's
well
just
done,
adequate,
which stinks.
which makes it boring. Yeah, it's not. There's no funny.
Godzilla
Marlon
looking
Brando
like an idiot.
character. That's
is
fun.
good.
That makes it very fun.
The goofy miniatures makes it fun. And then the actual well-done action stuff also makes it fun. So there's a lot of fun in this movie. There's also a lot of boring, though.
There's a lot of political Cold War shit that I just couldn't fucking care less about.
I don't care about the Cold War. I wasn't around.
Maybe if if I'd been alive during the Cold War, if I'd seen this during the Cold War, maybe it would have hit.
I think I said this during the discussion. Had I seen this movie theatrically when it came out, I think I would have loved this movie.
Right.
But I didn't. So
you didn't have a frame to reference though.
Right. I don't like frames.
Really? Is that picture of Bruce Campbell Mysterio, is that not in a frame?
No, it's just stapled to the wall.
It looks like is that just the border on the picture?
Yeah, I just drew a square on it with a Sharpie.
You drew that yourself. That's a solid.
Which I guess would technically be a frame. Anyway.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah, I think this movie is fun in a really strange way. If you're like, oh, I love Godzilla, and I like the idea.
If you remember the Cold War.
Right.
You remember the Cold War, you'll fuck with this movie. If you were scared of the Cold War, you're gonna rock with this shit.
I've got this. If your favorite James Bond is Timothy Dalton, you're gonna love this movie. If not, you know,
you'll probably like the same parts that we liked.
Yeah, I mean,
admittedly, probably
most of it
more than less. Yeah.
There's more to enjoy in this than not. And we'll get to that at the very end. Does this movie hold up? No.
Not really, no.
Last week, I think, did hold up in like a corny, fun movie kind of way.
In a funny way, yeah. This one, it's not as much. It's just pretty standard, substandard even. It's just...
If you're trying to full send and sweep the entire Godzilla franchise, then this one you'll probably have fun with.
Yeah. We have to also remember this was the first Godzilla movie in 10 years.
So well, not only that, but it was the first one in a long time to take itself seriously.
To be serious, yeah. So it was almost like uncharted territory for them. It was
it was a
like
full
reboot.
You know, it was Casino Royale, right? Casino Royale isn't the best of the Daniel Craig Bond movies. But I take that back. It's up there.
One of the best, yeah.
It's up there. It might be the best.
I haven't seen the last one. So
it might be the best. I mean, no, it's no Skyfall.
I was probably gonna say it's probably second after Skyfall for me, but I haven't seen No Time to Die.
Yeah, it's
so.
better. Casino Royale's better than No Time to Die. I retract my statements. I take back everything I've said.
It's up there.
This movie sucks.
Yeah.
No, there is some
but
good
Godzilla
stuff.
smokes that
It's
ketamine,
enjoyable.
bro. That shit's dope.
Godzilla, it's a standard Godzilla movie, and I think last week, after seeing such an outlandish and fun Godzilla movie, it really kind of spoiled us. Had we started with this one, I feel like it would have been better.
Had we started with Godzilla 56 or 55 and then just watched this, that
perfect combo.
That would have been,
If you're looking for a follow-up to the first Godzilla movie, I think this one would be great.
Absolutely, yeah.
Last question here. Will you ever watch this again? I don't think I will.
Possibly. Very, very possibly.
I might, but I doubt it.
I could see myself down the line watching this, like you said, as like a double feature with the first Godzilla. If ever I rewatch the first Godzilla movie for some reason.
Why would you when you can watch Astro Monster in 2014?
Right, but I might watch just to reference a frame or whatever. But
who are you, Josh? No, I don't see myself ever watching this again. Genuinely, I don't. I think I've seen enough Godzilla movies where I'm gonna watch several more before I watch this one.
Well, definitely, yeah. This would have to, I would only, actually, I take that back. I would probably only watch this if ever I were watching all of the Godzilla movies, just
I might do that
which I could see myself doing.
Yeah, after these first two, because I had fun with this. But I think,
even for as much as we're shitting on this, we did have a great time watching
even
this.
If Godzilla was stupid.
Yeah,
I think we're gonna have more fun the next
Cold
2
War
weeks.
Stuff was boring.
I think this will be the lowest part of the sweep.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think last week really ruined us because we had such a great outing.
It was just such the perfect bad movie. And we said that in the discussion. That movie was Godzilla vs. Astro Monster is the perfect bad movie.
If you haven't seen that discussion, go ahead and check it out.
If you haven't seen that movie, go ahead and check it out. It's streaming
Instead
on
of
Tubi.
this
Episode brought to you by Tubi. Or if you want to be a loser, you can watch this movie. It's on YouTube, not on Tubi.
Right.
Not brought to you by Tubi.
Right.
Cringe.
We're gonna wrap this up though.
Yeah.
Don't watch it.
Or do.
You. I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah.
Comment, subscribe.
Send it to your friends. Comment if you would pay
Patreon
$1 for Patreon.
$1 make you holla. Make us holla.
I need $1. $1 is what I need. Yeah. A little bit, yeah. That's why I pissed before recording. I am gonna have to piss again.